Alright, so it is day 7 of the Avatar The Last Page Turner Readathon, and I know it's been a while since I read something for this readathon, but I had another book that I needed to get done and return to the library, so that took up a bit of time, because it was like over 500 pages, so it was a tome. So yeah, now I'm going to do the second prompt, which is a book with water on the cover, and I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Alright, gonna pause here for now, go get myself some dinner, and then hopefully I'll start it back up again afterwards. Alright, let's go ahead and start up again and see if we can't make it to 200 or 250 for the evening. Okay, let's go. Alright, I've gotten a little less than halfway through the book, but I think this is a good stopping point. This book reminds me, not a lot, at first it did, but there are aspects of this book that remind me of Sense8, which I will get into later, but I love that show, and if you're a fan of Sense8, I think you'd at least enjoy this book. But I will get into that. Maybe not tomorrow, because I have plans, but on Monday. So that ends day 7 for the Avatar, the Last Page Turner Readathon for me at least. Halfway through. Alright, we ain't doing so bad. Ain't doing so bad. Alright, talk to you later. Alright, so this is day 9 of the Avatar, the Last Page Turner marathon. Just finally got the last book, Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roanhorse, but I need to finish The City We Became, and I've got about a little over 200 pages left. So I was gonna go outside, but it looks nasty out, and it was really hard for me to get my ass out of bed and get going. So maybe tomorrow, maybe I can get this finished tonight so that I can go out tomorrow and start the Trail of Lightning. So let's go ahead and do this. Alrighty, so I've managed to finish sometime early this morning. 9th day? I think it's the 9th day of the Avatar The Last Page Turner Readathon, The City We Became by n.k.jemisin, and I really ended up enjoying this. This particular book does not seem to be a lot of people's cup of tea. While I was reading it, I know I made note of it earlier. There were certain aspects of this book that reminded me of the Netflix show Sense8, like the different boroughs of New York being born and their ability to communicate and tap into each other. You know, not a whole lot of it is the same, but there was a kind of familiarity to it that made it almost comforting to read. Not to mention that I am not from New York. I am from the South, okay? They are two totally different beasts. I grew up in Florida, and I am now living in Atlanta. I think this book helped me to better understand what the different boroughs. There are 5 boroughs of New York. There's the Manhattan Island, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and then Staten Island. And this book kind of helped me understand what each of those boroughs kind of represents. The avatars, as they're called, are kind of the amalgamation of what those boroughs represent. You know, they're not a hard and fast rule as to what those boroughs should represent. They're just kind of this is like the Bronx. Her name is Bronca. She's a nearly 70-year-old Lenape Native American. I hope I said that right. Lord knows I probably didn't. The Lenape were the original occupants of Manhattan Island before it was traded to the Dutch. You know, the infamous trade of Manhattan to the Dutch for, God, a handful of beads or whatever it was. I mean, it was stolen, basically, you know, like all of America was stolen from the Native Americans. But that is a whole other beast. But Bronca has managed to hide in plain sight because so many people look at her and think a lot of it is Hispanic. The dark skin, or the brown skin but dark, usually black, dark brown hair. And she's got such sass, but she represents the Bronx as the original home of her tribe. So that's why she is the avatar of the Bronx. And that was the one other difference, or not one other difference, but like in Sense8, all the Sense8s are like beautiful young people. Like truly, like you watch that and you're just like, oh my god, this is a feast for the eyes. Not saying that these people in the book wouldn't be, but Bronca is nearly 70. She's the only truly older avatar, but she is an older avatar. I was kind of sad to see that this is not a series, and yet at the same time I'm like, oh thank god it's not a series. Just because right now I can't get into another series, but I really ended up enjoying it. Again, part of it is just that kind of nostalgia. Not that Sense8 is that old, but for that kind of representation and how the cities are, or the boroughs are born, and all kinds of things like that. So I really, really enjoyed this book. I gave it 5 stars. Alright, so this week's booktuber shout out is going to go to Joel from Fictional Fates. He just recently started his channel, just a couple of months ago, and I really enjoy his stuff. He is very personable through the screen, so you really get the feeling that he cares about his viewers, and it's just really nice to have somebody so open and kind on their channel. For a local business that supports a lot of LGBTQ, black authors of color, I'm going to go back to my local bookstore, Charis. And one of the things they got coming up is they are going to be talking to Jordan Ifuko, who wrote Raybearer. It's her debut novel, and they are having an event where they're getting together online to discuss it. So I'll provide a link for that in the description down below. So I hope y'all will check that out. Yeah, I would recommend giving it a try. If you liked Sense8, again, it's not a direct correlation. I want to make that clear. It's not a direct that you will recognize. That's my fulfillment of the second prompt for Avatar: The Last Page Turner, which was read a book with water on the cover. Next up, I have Rebecca Roanhorse's Trail of Lightning, which I just got yesterday, so I'm excited to get started on that. So, yeah, hope y'all enjoyed, and talk to you later.